A home in our heads, ransacked by rats, infested with insects reeking of rot. An idea seeped in the souls, mindlessly wandering, a widening abyss between rich and poor. The machinations of madmen made manifest by the manufacture of memberships, steeped in suffering birthed by a rigid class system, built on the backs of giants slain by the sling fashioned in memory of our forefathers, the original pallbearers of fairness and fortune. Patriotic Front. Once a driverless vehicle for development, now an economic engine for regression. A party which ebbed and flowed with the confluence of constituents, now eroded at its banks by bureaucracy. You see, entrusted in its funds was a hedge of hope deposited daily with a demographic desperate for deliverance, promised by its frontrunners till the bitter end. How far the mighty have fallen, a Luciferian landing in the inferno of truth, which incinerated the ideals rotten at the core of their mandated manipulation. Their molten material poured into the mold of our minds no longer serves the people it once swore to protect. Fathers abandoned their homes in pursuit of this purpose, leaving behind children in captivity, raised in isolation from the information essential for their liberation. A reminiscent replay of the wretched reality their anguished ancestors died for. A vicious turn round the ancient wheel of misfortune. Brothers bled red seas through the streets in honor of a dream turned nightmare. By the terror tales of transformation, their moves sang the tunes of tortured souls tales by tragedy. Mothers mourned the sacrifice of their lambs in service of a greater good, and sought after sanctity in a system which violated their virtues. Sisters screamed atop their lungs for a savior, only to be sinned against by these fallen angels. Impregnated with assurances, these ladies lived out lies portrayed by their prideful partners, who joyously jousted at justice and poked holes in our pockets. Patriotic Front. A front for patriotism, covering the tracks of patrons polluting policies for personal gains. The blindfold for business behind closed doors. These honorables leveraged losses as resources for their campaigns, elected pain as the primary candidate for change, but refrained from remorse despite their wrongs. Patriotic Front. A dreamboat captained by corruption, sailing the sorrows of a nation, drowned in disappointment.